Good morning, one and all present here. I request all the guests to come and take the seat on the dais. KSOU Mysuru, Professor Shivaraju, Member University Grant Commission, New Delhi, Dr. Sandhya Shastri, Research Advisor, University of West of England, Bristol, Professor K. Shivachittappa, Registrar, Tumkur University, Dr. Hari Krishnamarum, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Global Digital University, USA, Dr. Balakrishnan Shetty, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Siddharth University, Bangalore, Dr. A. Kader Pasha, In Charge Registrar, Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru. One and all present here, it's my privilege to welcome the gathering for International Multidisciplinary Conference on Issues and Challenges in Sustainable Development 2022. A day without prayer is a day without blessings. To begin this program, I call upon third year BA students of Maharani's Arts College to invoke the blessings of Almighty. I request all of you to stand for invocation followed by state anthem.
ಶರಣು ನಿನಗೆ ಶರಣು ವಿನಾಯಕ ಶರಣು ನಿನಗೆ ಶರಣು ವಿನಾಯಕ ವಿನಾಯಕ ವಿದ್ಯಾದಾಯಕ ದೇವ ವಿನಾಯಕ ವಿದ್ಯಾದಾಯಕ ದೇವ ಶರಣು ನಿನಗೆ ಶರಣು ವಿನಾಯಕ ಶರಣು ನಿನಗೆ ಶರಣು.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, and all the delegates and the media persons and dear student friends. It gives me an immense pleasure to share a few words about this conference. 11th International Multidisciplinary Conference on Issues and Challenges in Sustainable Development, jointly organized by Department of Economics, Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru, and International Council for Development Research, Mysuru, Vijay Jyoti Group of Institutions, Bangalore, Bengaluru, Vision Digital India, Universal Digital University, United States of America, National Press Associates, New Delhi, CIRD Research Center, Bangalore, HIT West Bengal, and Vidyasekhar Group of Institutions, Bangalore. The main challenges to sustainable development which are global in character includes poverty and exclusions, unemployment, climate change, conflict, and humanitarian aid, building peaceful and inclusive society, building strong institutions, and supporting rule of law. The one of the most urgent and buzzing word from the perspective of environment is sustainable development. Sustainable development signifies a balanced development of environmental protection and that of the economy. But the biggest dilemma of present world is the challenges for faster economic growth, which is directly linked to the climate change. The increasing demand of food, energy, and mineral resources lead to huge consumption of natural resources and introduction of different technologies, which leads to exponential rise in carbon dioxide. Sustainable development requires everyone's effort to involve in achieving for a historic change in the global level to deliver inclusive growth, climate change, and reduction of the risk of the climate change. India is the one of the fastest growing economy of the world, but here growth is not sustainable. It is competitive in nature. Sustainable development maintains complementarity relation between human development and also economic growth. So for sustainable development, there must be a positive relation between social, economic, and environmental development. As we know, every action of now will determine the climate of next 15 to 20 years. So the purpose of this conference is to focus on the major issues and challenges of sustainable development, narrowing scope to India. And I am very happy to share with you that the organizing committee has been inculcating in recognizing and honoring luminary personalities in the different areas like education, health, administration, and also social sciences. In this conference also, the committee has identified the four important achievers in different areas to felicitate and award. That is Professor S. Vidyashankar, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru, is going to receive Lifetime Achiever Award. Please give a big hand to our Honorable Vice Chancellor. And the Dr. Sudarshan GT, the famous cardio surgeon, Fortis Hospital, Banerghatta Road, Bangalore, is also with us. Sir is going to receive the Best Doctor Award. Please give a big hand to Dr. Sudarshan GT also. And we have Madam Dr. Kiran Reddy, the founder, AIMS Institutes, Bangalore. Madam is going to receive Education Leadership Award. Please give a big hand to Madam also. And my good friend, Dr. N.T. Somasekaraya, famous writer and retired professor of economics, Maharani's College, Mysuru, is going to receive Best Teacher Award. With these few words, I wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Nothing can be more reassuring and warming words of welcome. Now I call upon Dr. R.H. Pavitra, Organizing Secretary of the Conference, to welcome the gathering.
Ellarigu namaskara. Good morning, one and all. I'll begin with the shloka of Lord Ganesha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurame Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. The Department of Economics has organized n number of conferences, seminars and symposium since 1996. Mention can be made of, in the year 2017, National Conference organized by the Department of Economics, sponsored by ICSSR, and very recently a webinar in collaboration with the Tumkur University. And in the same year, we are conducting international conference in collaboration with many institutions which already mentioned by Honorable Registrar Tumkur University, Professor Shivjita Pasar. Any institution or university focuses on three agendas when they look into the vision or the mission of the university. Similarly here, our department and the institution has focused on three different agendas. One is the teaching, second one is the research, third one is the extension. Conducting seminars, symposium, conferences is a part of extension activities. That's what the department in collaboration with these institutions are performing today in this academic platform. And conducting seminars is not only the idea, at the same time taking the suggestions and the recommendations out of this fruitful conferences and giving it in the policy formulation method to the government means a lot. So that with that agenda, the department has organized this 2 days international conference. First and foremost, I take an opportunity to welcome one and all for this gathering. Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor S. Vidyashankar ji is with us. Without his support, it was highly impossible for us to stand here and to create this platform. And Dr. Vidyashankar sir has a teaching experience of more than 28 years and research experience to the tune of 15 years. And sir has to his credit the patents, Indian as well as abroad patent to the tune of 10. And sir has already got the PhD students awarded for more than 7. And I have a lot many things to express about sir during his award ceremony. I welcome you wholeheartedly, sir, on behalf of Department of Economics and all the institution and all the participants. on the dais and before the dais in this multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary conference. Before the dais, we are seeing Dr. Sudarshan sir, cardiosurgeon. On the dais, we are seeing radiologist Dr. Balakrishna Shetty sir. Known as one of the youngest vice chancellors born on 1st October 1962 at Kundapur, completed his medical education MBBS in 1986 in Kasturba Medical College, Mangalore with distinction in many subjects. After this, Dr. Shetty went to USA for further studies in radio diagnosis. In July 1995, Dr. Shetty joined as Assistant Professor of Radiology in Siddhartha Medical College, Tumukuru, to become Professor of Radiology and Director of PG Studies in 1999. He is an eminent radiologist. Dr. Shetty has worked in many international hospitals and universities like Yale University, USA, Texas Children's Hospital, MD Anderson Cancer Hospital, St. Luke's Episcopal Hospital, Houston. Dr. Shetty is involved in various research activities in the field of whole body cancer, imaging by MRPT, breast cancer, lung cancer, ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer, renal cancer, uterine fibroids and stem cell imaging and rare muscular dystrophy. I welcome you on behalf of KSOU and ICDR sir. I welcome you wholeheartedly sir, welcome you. Dr. Kadir Pasha sir, who has served as the finance officer and also serving as the finance officer along with in-charge registrar. I know him since past 1 decade and he has proved as a good finance officer and has also proved as a good administrator serving as an KS officer, and he is with us today. I welcome you wholeheartedly sir on behalf of KSOU and ICRD sir. I also welcome Mrs. Mauldi Barge, Rennes School of Business. She has all the way come from France. I welcome you ma'am as a foreign delegate and we are eager to listen to your speeches on sustainable development. Thank you ma'am. I welcome you wholeheartedly on behalf of Karnataka State Open University ma'am. Dr. Ashok Kamli. I also welcome Dean Study Center, Ramanatham Naidu. I also welcome Registrar for Evaluation, Dr. Praveen sir. I welcome the Coordinator of Competitive Examination, Jainalli Satyanarayana Gowda sir. I take an opportunity to welcome the award receivees of today, Dr. Sudarshan sir and family, Dr. Kiran Reddy and family, Dr. Neti Somashekar sir and family, and I also welcome Manohar Chikkanna, Regional President, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. Welcome you, sir. I welcome the Directors of Admission, IT, SICA, R&D Cell of KSOU. I welcome all the Assistant Registrars and the Deputy Registrars of KSOU different departments. I also welcome the Special Officers. I welcome Dr. S. Chandrappa, former VC, Kalinga University, Raipur. Welcome you, sir. I welcome Dr. Sri Ramachandra, Chairman, Vijay Jyoti Group of Institutions. is an awardee of this particular conference in this because we do not have words to express in 1 or 2 sentences. Mention can be made of his achievements since past 3 years. As already I said, he has teaching experience to the tune of 2 decades and the research experience, and has already awarded PhD candidates to the tune of 10 plus. And apart from that, as an administrator, today he has achieved. Mention can be made of. List what I am going to read now. Karnataka State Legislative Assembly has approved Karnataka State Universities and certain other Law Bill 2020, which has facilitated only Karnataka State Open University in Mysuru as a sole university to offer distance education in the state. Thank you, sir, for this. And the University Grants Commission has sanctioned 12B status to KSOU, and 12B status enables the varsity to get UGC developmental funds. With the approval of UGC, 11 new programs in both UG and PG, MSc Botany, Zoology, Food and Nutrition, Information Science MSc, BSc General, BSc Information Technology, BSc Home Science have been introduced in our land. KSOU has started skill development training for students under CMKKY. Through skill development training, KSOU wants to encourage candidates towards creating self-employment. Based on the UGC recommendations, KSOU has adopted the CBCS and in the process of implementing CBCS as well as NEP in coming future. KSOU has established ICT-enabled teaching to provide e-learning atmosphere in the classrooms. In addition to chalk and talk method of teaching, the faculty members are using IT-enabled tools such as PPT, video clippings, audio system, online sources to expose the students for advanced knowledge and practical knowledge. State-of-art audio-video recording studio has been established. All educational videos, lessons and other learning resources like video, audios, etc. And at the same time, KSOU has launched KSOU Student App, KSOU Connect App to conduct the classes. And sir, with his effort, today we have started the digital evaluation in our campus. And at the same time, I would like to say it is a feather to the crown of KSOU that we have started giving results to the students to their WhatsApp number. It is the first university in the state to send the results in the WhatsApp. And at the same time, we have our own YouTube channel, KSOU Drishya Vahini. It is the brainchild of Honorable Vice Chancellor Vidya Shankar sir. And this channel contains over 500 hours of academic program. Thank you, sir, for that. And at the same time, we have a placement cell. It is also one of the brainchild of Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. And at the same time, we have lot many to his credentials and his contribution towards KSOU. On behalf of this, I would like to say, sir has won the best or the lifetime achievement award. Big round of applause I expect from you all. Please give him a big round of applause. Dr. Sudarshan sir, at any time the patient may give him a call, 24/7 his phone will be on. Dr. Sudarshan is an accomplished cardiothoracic and vascular surgeon with over 12 years of experience in this specialty. He has trained extensively in India and UK. Sir has an experience of over 12 years in the field of cardiothoracic sciences. He has completed his MBBS from Kempegowda Institute of Medical Sciences, Bangalore, and later pursued MS and DNB in general surgery, followed by MCH and DNB, cardiothoracic and vascular surgery. He acquired the first position in his MCH training in Mumbai and also secured CS Sadashivan Gold Medal in cardiothoracic surgery in All India National Board examinations. He later went to UK and completed his FRCS cardiothoracic surgery from the Royal College of Surgeons of England. Sir has keen interest in adult cardiothoracic surgery, primarily in minimally invasive cardiac surgery, aortic surgery, off-plumb coronary surgery, Watts lung surgeries, valve repair surgeries, surgery for arterial fibrillation and surgery for heart failure including transplantation. Please give him a big round of applause. Sir has got the Best Doctor Award. One more awardee is Dr. Kiran Reddy Madam. Welcome to you, ma'am. Dr. Kiran Reddy Madam has 35 years of rich experience in academics that includes teaching to postgraduate management students, administration as head of institution, member in the academic council, syndicate member, senate member, Bangalore University, member of board of examination, member of board of studies of Bangalore University, external examiner of MBA students of Bangalore University. Madam has done her PhD in management from Bangalore University, and she has held different positions as member AICTE Expert Committee, member UGC Advisory Committee, Bangalore University. Madam has special positions like Certified Assessor for NAC audits since 2014 and have assessed more than 15 institutions across India as member and member coordinator. She is the member of Faculty Recruitment Selection Committee of Kanchi University. Madam has got more than 10 major projects to her credits. Madam has 100 publications into her credentials. Has also contributed towards social causes. She has established Acharya Institute of Management Studies Center for Community Services, which is very active with a view to sensitize students to social causes and develop ethical values. For getting Best Educational Award, congratulations to you, ma'am. Please give a big round of applause. I welcome Nethi Somashekar sir for the dais, Dr. Nethi Somashekar sir. For getting Best Teacher Awardee, for getting Best Teacher Award, sir has got more than 3 decades of teaching experience and more than 2 decades of research experience, and also he has written books for degree students. Sir has also served as an expert member for NEP syllabus framing. Sir is into the BOS member, University of Mysuru UG department. I congratulate you, sir, for getting Best Teacher Award. Please give him a big round of applause.
Very good morning, everyone. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Professor Vidya Shankar sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru. Today's chief guest, Hari Krishnamarum, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Global Digital University, USA. Balakrishna Shetty, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Siddhartha University, Bangalore. Kader Pasha, Dr. Kader Pasha, In-charge Registrar, Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru. Today's keynote speaker, Dr. Sandhya Shastri, Research Advisor, University of West of England, Bristol. Professor K. Sivashuktappa sir, Registrar, Tumakuru University and Director of the conference. Guest of honors, Ritu Jain Gaurav, Founder and CEO, U2U Systems, Singapore. Maudley Bars, Rennes School of Business, France. Parin Somani, Independent Academic Professional, United Kingdom. Bandyopadhyay, Director, Haldia Institute of Management, Haldia, West Bengal. Dr. Pavitra Madam, Organizing Secretary and HOD of Department of Economics, Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru. All administrative officials of Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru. Invited speakers, guests, staff of the Open University, research scholars, students, delegates from different parts of the India and abroad and Karnataka state, press and media, and young students. I have a great pleasure amidst you this morning on the auspicious occasion of inaugural function of International Multidisciplinary Conference on Issues and Challenges in Sustainable Development. I congratulate and compliment Professor Shivasittappa sir and Pavitra madam and their team for their initiative, keen interest, and putting lot of efforts in organizing wonderful international conference. At this juncture, I also congratulate all the awardees who have received awards in different fields of their best contribution in different fields. The theme of the conference is very relevant to the present day context, focusing on issues and challenges and their solutions in sustainable development. The sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the future generation to meet their own needs. The main features of sustainable development include increase in per capita income, judicious use of natural resources, and preserving the resources for future generation. The United States General Assembly set up Sustainable Development Goals in 2015 and are intended to be achieved by 2030. These Sustainable Development Goals are focusing on improving the quality of life through science and technology research and understanding the value of life through humanities and social science research. The official agenda of Sustainable Development adopted on 25th September 2015 outlines the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. These are briefly: no poverty, that is end poverty in all its forms everywhere, ensure that all men and women, in particular poor and vulnerable, have equal rights to economic resources as well as access to basic services. Zero hunger, end hunger, achieve food security and improved nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture, end all the forms of malnutrition, ensure sustainable food production system and implement resilient agriculture practices that increase productivity and production, that progressively improve land and soil quality, invest in rural infrastructure, agriculture, research, technology and gene banks, access adequate food and health diets for all people all year around, an end to malnutrition in all its forms, transform our food system to transform our world. The third one is ensure, that is good health and well-being, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all, reduce illness, death from hazards, chemicals and pollution, end the epidemic of AIDS, TB, malaria and NTD, support research development department and universal access of affordable vaccines and medicines, achieve access to quality essential health care services and access to safe, effective, quality and affordable essential medicines and vaccines for all, quality education. They ensure inclusive, equitable, quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities to all. The equal access for all men and women to affordable technical, vocational and higher education. Eliminate the discrimination in the education. Ensure education for sustainable development and global citizenship. Expand higher education scholarships for sustainable development. Build and upgrade education facilities and provide safe, non-violent, inclusive and effective learning environments for all. Gender equality. Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. end all forms of discrimination against all women and girls everywhere, eliminate all harmful practices such as child early and forced marriage and female genital mutilation. Next one is clean water and sanitation. Ensure access to clean water and sanitation for all. For safe and affordable drinking water, improve water quality, wastewater treatment and safe reuse. Implement integrated water resource management, protect and restore water related ecosystems, protect national resources and avoid water pollution. Next one is affordable and clean energy. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. Increase global percentage of renewable energy. Promote access to research technology and investment in clean energy. Expand infrastructure and upgrade technology for supplying modern and sustainable energy services for all. The next one is decent work and economic growth. Promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth, employment and decent work for all. Promote development oriented policies that support the productive activities, decent job creation, creativity and innovation and encourage the formulation and growth of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, including through access to financial services. Next is industry, innovation and infrastructure. Build a resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industrialization and faster innovation. Develop sustainable resistance and inclusive infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization. Enhance research and upgrade industrial technology, provide universal access to information and communication technology. Next one is reduce inequalities. Reduce inequalities within and among all countries. Ensure equal opportunity to reduce inequalities of outcome by eliminating discriminatory laws, policies and practices and promoting appropriate legislation, policies and action in this regard. 11th one is sustainable cities and communities. Make cities inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. Ensure access for all to adequate, safe and affordable housing and basic services and upgrade slums. Strengthen efforts to protect and safeguard the cultural and natural heritage. Next one is responsible consumption and production. Ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. Sustainable management and use of natural resources. Promote public procurement policies that are sustainable in accordance with the national policy and priorities. Climate action. Take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. Integrate climate change measures into policies and planning. Build knowledge and capacity to meet climate change. Promote mechanism to raise capacity for climate planning and management. Life below water. Conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas and marine resources. Reduce marine pollution, protect and restore ecosystem and conserve coastal and marine systems. Life on land. Sustainable manage forests, combat desertification, halt and reserve land degradation, halt biodiversity loss. Integrate ecosystem and biodiversity values into natural local planning development processes. The 16th one is peace, justice and strong institutions. Promote justice, peace and inclusive societies. For sustainable development, provide access to justice for all. Promote the rule of law at the national and international levels and ensure equal access to justice for all. The last one is global partnership for all the goals. Revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. Respect each country's policy space and leadership to establish and implement policies for poverty eradication and sustainable development. So these are the 17 policies, goals. And with regard to India, the factors like rapid growth of population, urbanization, industrialization, and poverty, among others, are responsible for slow achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Some of the challenges in attaining Sustainable Development Goals in India are to devise sustainable indicators to effectively access the progress of Sustainable Development Goals. The key definitions for areas such as poverty, safe drinking water, education needs to be revised in order to effectively implement the Sustainable Development Goals. Next one is to financing Sustainable Development Goals. This can be bridged only through increased private sector investments, especially in infrastructure, food security, and climate change mitigation sectors. Next one is to monitoring and ownership. Though the Niti Aayog is expected to play the lead role in taking the progress of Sustainable Development Goals, its members have expressed reservations on being able to take on this mammoth task. To measuring the progress of Sustainable Development Goals, there is no proper mechanism developed to measure the progress of Sustainable Development Goals. So, in order to overcome these challenges, India needs to develop an exclusive model for implementing, monitoring, measuring, and reporting the Sustainable Development Goals related to course of action. So, with this, I think this international conference definitely certainly provides an excellent platform, for fostering exchange of sustainable development goals, goal thoughts, and all sessions will be definitely very informative and very interesting, and definitely all lectures will enlighten the delegates who are participating in the conference. So I hope all delegates from different parts of India and abroad will go with the sweet memories with enlightened minds. So with this, I wish this international conference a grand success, and I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to say a few words on this occasion. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Sandhya Shastri, Research Advisor, University of West of England, Bristol, to give the keynote address.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I'd like to thank the organizers and a whole host of celebrities as well as experts in the field of higher education, including Professor S. Vidyashankar ji, Professor Shivraj, Professor Shivachittappa, Dr. Marum, Dr. Shetty, Dr. Pasha, Dr. Kiran Reddy, my friend, philosopher and guide, and my newly formed friend Maud, and the conference. Thank you very much for having me here as a keynote speaker. And for me, it is, I'm overwhelmed by the warm welcome that Mysuru University has given me. It's a homecoming. I used to be a student in Gangotri. I lived here. I live in Bangalore otherwise. And so it's really nice to actually come back here. So today, I wanted to just thank Professor Shivraj for having given us the background to the conference topic, which is issues and challenges in sustainable development. And you all know it is a very broad area. It's as long as a piece of string. So I thought I would actually narrow it down and speak to my strengths, which is from the business field, and also make the connections between universities, academia, HEIs, as well as businesses, and obviously internationalization. It's a key part of how sustainable we can be as a on the planet, as a community of world citizens, and therefore I'd like to take you through first a series of what is happening in the world at the moment with the trade trends and with international business trends, and also cast a light on how businesses are evolving and what adaptation we need to make, because the carbon footprint of any international business, any business that is we may think is only made in India or made in China, but these products go round the world, and not as a single product, but as different parts, and the kind of environmental and ecological issues that creates. And so where are we at this point in time? So according to UN Conference on Trade and Development, the volume of globe trade in 2022 will increase by 25% compared to 2021. So it is going to reach almost $30 trillion US. International trade performance in 2021 was quite mixed, and the global trade in products exceeded pre-pandemic levels, but trade in services remained subdued, as many cross-border services, especially in international travel, tourism, haven't yet recovered. We all know that there are so many restrictions going into, we were just talking when we are coming into Mysuru, that going into China or Malaysia or many other countries is quite restrictive. So how does one continue to do international business without going in person? That is a key challenge. And of course you would say the answer is because we can all remote work. But is it the same? Is it the same as being in person? Would all the awardees here and myself and the dignitaries and conference be experiencing the same thing if we had done this remotely? That is a question we all need to ask ourselves, because we are human beings, and human beings naturally have the tendency to be social, to be personable, and to meet people in flesh and blood. So after a global recovery in 2021, the last 2 quarters, global growth is definitely weakening. And further global economic recovery and prospects depend on a delicate balance between new waves of COVID-19, and you may all have read in the papers that there's another new virus emanating from China, for instance. I can't get the name. I'm done with Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Omicron, but I can't go any further. That's all my brain can take at the moment. And then serious geopolitical challenges. So the Ukraine war is going on, and then you've got a potential that China might invade Taiwan based on the Russia invading Ukraine model, and then USA will wade in, etc. So there's so many geopolitical repositioning potentially possible, and the persistent labor market problems. So if you go and land in Heathrow, for instance, in London, there is nobody to put your bags from the aircraft onto the baggage conveyor, and you're stood there waiting for like 2 hours. You would have read that in the media, etc. Continuing supply chain disruptions too. For the first time in my life, I sold my second-hand car for much more than I bought it. And that is because the microchips that are used in new cars were not available due to COVID. And so I benefited by £3,000. But I'm just saying that, supply chain disruptions are real, and we need to take cognizance of the facts, and also rising inflationary pressures. As in Madam here is an economics expert who will back me up on that. And climate change around the world you're seeing, I went to the UK 3 weeks ago, and I encountered 41 degrees centigrade in Lincoln, and I'm thinking, am I in Delhi or am I, in the UK? It was unbearable, unbelievable, and they're going through a heat wave, as is the rest of Europe. So there is this climatic change that is also coming, which is going to challenge things like water, food shortages, and so on. So going on to the business trends, a recent report by Adobe, the PDF company, indicates that in 2022, the rapid digitalization of international traders will continue as the only possible way to improve efficiency and competitiveness of companies. So digitization is the key word here. So there is a massive evidence of digital acceleration driven by COVID crisis. Companies like retail stores, you got Spar, you got Big Basket, you got so many of these, D-Mart, vegetable stores, dry cleaning services, online fitness classes. Many of you do that, yoga, etc., online, and have benefited through their digital presence during COVID. So in the medical field, genomics, gene editing, synthetic biology are a top trend of 2022, because these advancements can help us modify crops, cure and eradicate diseases, develop new vaccines like we did for COVID-19, and other medical and biological breakthroughs. So in the face of the urgent need to respond to this need for digitization, not all companies are equal, and only a third of them actually feel relatively comfortable with this change. And that those third of the companies, this is a global figure, are the leaders. They are the early adapters or the innovators. And the main challenges revolve around data, but also about customer knowledge and organizational issues. That is the ability to work and collaborate across organizations. And so collaboration is a key word, digitization, collaboration across organizations which may or may not be in the same sector. And that is the opportunity that this is giving. So all businesses grapple with the understanding of customer insights and motivations. There is a serious concern regarding the listening ability of companies. And there are still doubts as to whether sufficient budgets and effective skills development plans are in place. So if we keep looking back into our own curricula, in our own HE, whichever field it is in, we need to be ahead of the game, not follow them, because as HEIs and universities, we should be leading along with the businesses. We should be leading businesses by their nose, but that is not happening at the moment, not just in India, everywhere around the world. So to sum up, there are encouraging signs of business evolution, but challenges that remain important on internal and external collaboration in a multi-channel and complex environment where organizational and IT silos represent a major obstacle. So how are business evolving? Do we see any evidence of businesses evolving? So to put it bluntly, our world is changing fast, and organizations must learn to adapt accordingly. And these major trends provide a snapshot of how business operations are evolving to suit our rapidly changing world. So I'm going to just reel them off one by one, because there is so much in each of them that makes sense to each of you coming from your own disciplines. So humans versus robots, data analytics, artificial intelligence, robotics, virtual interfaces, including metaverse. Now, you may all have heard of metaverse, yeah? That is augmented reality on platforms. It is still not a reality at the moment, to use a pun, but of the lady in the lovely yellow sari. I want to feel it, and I'm sitting here in Mysuru, and she's in Bangalore, let's imagine, and she comes across on my Teams or whatever the equivalent is at that point, and I can actually touch it and feel it. So that is the extent to which we are going to have changes with the metaverse. Changing talent requirements. I don't know about India so much at the moment, but in the UK, particularly the civil service, equivalent of IAS, IFS and IPS people, do not want to go to the office. They want to stay home and work. And the government is trying their best the last whole year to get them to work, and they are not going to have it. Similarly, many other sectors which can actually stay home and work and be as productive in their eyes. So that is not going to go back to the normal that we know, particularly with fuel prices and commuting becoming more and more expensive. That adds to the inflation, etc. So why would anybody want to go out and work and go and play with the traffic every day for 3 hours while you can actually be productive at home? So that is another. Talent requirements and gig workers, Uber, Ola, Rapido, etc., who actually are not employed per se by any company, no employees, they don't have benefits, and contractual workers too, part-time workers. So that is going to actually be here with us to stay. Flat organizational structures, hierarchical structures with steep hierarchy, head, deputy, head, deputy, deputy, head, deputy, deputy, assistant, head. No. You're going to have a very flat structure, and flat structures are also here to stay, very lateral movements and coordinated across teams. Authenticity. So with all of this, we still want our leaders who are touchy-feely, who are caring, who actually show empathy. So that's another thing. So how are we going to match that with the first item on the list I spoke about, which is robotics, AI, etc. There is machine technology going on there. And then we also want this human touchy-feely, empathetic experience. Purposeful business. So purposeful business is not about vision and mission. This is about, why does this organization exist? More and more, we're going to have to prove every day why an organization exists. And that is the purposeful nature of the business is going to be much more important. Otherwise, tomorrow somebody will come in, do a better job, and out you go. And co-opetition instead of, obviously competition and integration. And alternative funding, decentralized finance, meaning more peer-to-peer, venture capitalists, etc., network of peers actually pooling together instead of having your normal, the macro structure of banking and investment lending and so on. So again, that is also going to be changing quite rapidly. So watch the space. And finally, sustainable businesses, but also resilient businesses. So if a business needs to be sustainable, it needs to go beyond looking at the normal supply chain. It needs to go beyond that to see how resilient the business is in order to take risks which may or may not be evident to you. Just as COVID pandemic, happened, how many businesses were in a position to actually adapt and survive first and then adapt. And so the risk resilience is part of sustainable organizations and businesses. So in all of this, what do we as a community need to do? We need to start thinking about the ethics of this digitized world, because more and more control is going into robots or things that are not, as we know, human. And therefore, how do we regulate? And I can see Dr. Sudarshan nodding. Ethics, medical ethics, as Dr. Shetty knows, is a huge area where you are vulnerable to litigations and etc. So everywhere you're going to ask for, do you have consent for me to receive unsolicited mail and marketing and so on and so forth? Can I share my data? Would I like to share my data with the rest of the world, etc.? So there's a huge area of risk, which is around owning digital responsibility and ethics, and also culturally managing the risk. So in each, although this is global business, as we see here today, I would never have got that welcome in a conference in the UK. So that's the cultural aspect. And that is also here to stay. We are not going to do away with our culture. And therefore, that adds it's an added dimension to any of the activities that you do, and it is also ethical. So what can be legally regulated and what needs to be ethically regulated through code of conduct? So self-regulation is linked to ethics, whereas your legal obligations and etc. are linked to your legislations and are you compliant with the law and so on. So there's a thin line, but they are both very important. So on that note, I would like to bring us to the current Indian higher education landscape, which has the NEP, the policy, education policy. And so using Bloom's taxonomy, not at the individual level, but at organizational level, we need to really start to think of international partnerships, and not just university to university, but university businesses, all mixed, all together, research institutes, small and medium enterprises, which are extremely important as part of the ecosystem of anything sustainable that you want to do, and also collaborating with people who have money. Again, that is peer-to-peer funding for startups and incubators and so on, and creating a new work ethic for academics with sufficient budget and resources to engage in quality research. So I'd like to see some commitment from the vice chancellors here to commit to actually giving your staff some actual time to conduct research. Take them away from the administration and the teaching in the classrooms if you want to be research universities. And I have seen this in UK universities, and some of them are struggling. Unless they're Russell Group universities or Oxford and Cambridge and Russell Group, everybody else struggles. And it is important that we don't follow the same mistakes that the West did. So on that note, I'd like to again thank everybody for listening to me, and I hope this is useful to your conference, and have a good conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. I request Dr. Hari Krishnamarum, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Global Digital University, USA, to address the gathering.
So good afternoon, friends. What a wonderful opportunity to be part of this 3 days International Multidisciplinary Conference happening at Mysuru under the dynamic leadership of Karnataka State Open University, the Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S. Vidyashankar, and the entire team, starting with Professor Shivachintappa, the Registrar of Tumkur University, the entire team, and the distinguished guest who is sitting here, starting from Professor Shivraj, the member of University Grants Commission, and my dear friend Dr. Balakrishna Shetty, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Siddhartha University, Tumkur. And we also have Dr. Kadri Pasha, who is the in-charge registrar here. And just now, a wonderful keynote delivered by the other friend, Dr. Sandhya Sastry, who came all the way from UK here to address all of you. And other, my dear friends, Dr. Kiran Reddy, Manohar, Dr. Manohar, and all other academic friends whom we keep meeting in different conferences. And I think the entire mood of India and mood of entire Indians are very positive now, because the reason to celebrate the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the 75 years of independence. I think during this time, organizing this kind of a conference and connecting all the people from across the world is a wonderful initiative, I can say. On the behalf of, I think, all the people, we would like to congratulate the entire team who worked, without leaving anything and making it possible that today we gathered in this wonderful place to discuss on multiple things. I think my previous speakers done a great job of giving entire scenario of sustainability and how the world is changing. So I would like to talk more on how India is changed in the last 75 years. So if I go back and recollect the history, maybe in 1940s, we have only 20 universities in this country. And today, in 2022, we have 1,050 universities in less than 80 years. And if you look at the entire education system of India, with 1,050 universities, with 52,000 colleges, and more than 280,000 primary schools, and 1 million, kind of a primary education things. Altogether, we have a 460 million students, that is 46 crore students, which is one of the world's largest education system when you look at the global education system in this world. And I think we all undergone the COVID impact in the last almost 30 months. And we've seen how technology is affecting each one's life, because globally when you talk more than 1.5 billion students, that is 150 crore students, unable to go to the campuses. We have a beautiful campuses, like morning when we were driving from Bangalore to Mysuru, we were talking about the stories of my days in Oxford, Cambridge, and meeting all the people, academic community. These all world-class universities like Harvard, Kellogg's, Wharton, London Business School. These all institutions, they're unable to open the doors in the COVID. The stakeholders are unable to enter into the campus. So that is the kind of a situation where the world-class universities are faced, and entire education was shut down. But in India, we are able to make it possible with using, even we are not very familiar with the technology, but we are able to do that, and without much disturbance, the entire education things were moved. So congratulate each academicians for undergoing this kind of a situation and coming out of that panic situation and continuing our journey of education. So in the same way, when you look back the 75 years of journey of India, we achieved a greater milestones. Today when I talk about the education system or the community system or industry system in one of the largest economic nation, that is United States of America, which are closely around $22 trillion economy, which is one of the largest economy in the world, 15% of the contribution of US economy is given by none other than Indians who are living in US. because the doctors, the academic people, the IT professionals, the startups, and today India is known globally as one of the technology leader. So all this credit goes to the education system, the foundations what we made in the Indian education from primary to higher education. That is the reason today, if you talk about the Fortune 100 companies, the top 100 companies, out of that, 70% of these companies are headed by none other than our Indians who studied in these wonderful institutions. We produced, from Mysuru itself, we produced Bharat Ratnas. The Mysuru University got a credit of having Sir Visvesvaraya, C.N. Rao. These all Bharat Ratnas. So the same way, today if you talk about some of the leading global companies of the world, starting from Google to Microsoft to Adobe to IBM to Pepsi to, you name today the Fortune 100 companies, top 100 companies. We have Indian leaders who made a remarkable change in the global arena. And the same way, when I am talking about the 75 years of independence and Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, today entire world is becoming familiar what is India because of our value systems. Because when I go back maybe a few thousands of years back, India is a Viswa Guru, where we had universities like Takshashila, Nalanda, Santiniketan. These all institutions, people used to walk months together to reach to this place, because that time there is no flights, there is no proper road transportation, there is no proper facilities to reach and to take this kind of a journeys. And people used to walk and come here and study different streams. We are talking about the specializations now. They've seen all, whatever Dr. Sanjay Sastry was telling about robotics, the IoT, the analytics, data science. These all were taught during that years. And now we are talking, the entire world is talking about this, all the new technologies. And I think the world is going to see a different kind of a, theory in the coming years. Because we completed 75 years, the next 25 years will be a crucial journey for India to become a leader in all the fields, not only education, not only technology, not only entrepreneurship, not only innovations, every field India is going to reach, and the journey is going on. I think when I talk about national education policy, which is again supporting this kind of initiatives and innovations. And if you talk about today, the journey of, again, the contribution from our state, talking from the city which I live, the Bangalore, produced highest number of startups. When we are talking about education, a small company, a small individual who is a teacher, used to teach the mathematics in Korumangala, is able to build a company which is called Baiju, which is the world's largest edtech company with a $22 billion market capitalization. So like this, you have a number of examples from our cities itself. And today Bangalore is known as the second Silicon Valley of the world. We already overtaken the original Silicon Valley of United States of America. The number of companies, the number of startups, the number of ecosystem what we build, all the credit goes again not only to the political people, it is because of the education system what we adopted in our education system, institutions, universities, that brought this kind of a change. And in the next 25 years, I don't have any doubt, an entire world, people like PricewaterhouseCoopers, Goldman Sachs, McKinsey, these are the companies which talks about the Western world. Today, suddenly they started talking about India, the journey of India. Today, when the entire 100 trillion economy, which is in the minus, and where the China is degrowing, where United States of America is in recession, where United Kingdom having their own internal troubles, India is growing at 7.4% GDP. where the entire world is, some of our neighboring countries are in economic crisis, India is talking about reaching to the global destination. So that is the journey, that is the fundamental values we build in entire systems what we promote. So that is the reason today, there is no doubt in the next 25 years, we will see the greater economy when we celebrate our 100 years of independence. I think we will be one of the top 2 nations in this world, in the economy, in the knowledge, in the technology, in the science, every area, whatever you name, that area we will be leaders. Definitely with the kind of positive things which are happening in this country, definitely we will reach to this dream of entire 1.3 billion people, because that is which makes a difference in the global scenario, what we are doing. And I think during this kind of a scenario, this conference is a very relevant to discuss. I think next 3 days is going to be a beautiful interactions between the people, faculty, and the guests who came all the way from different destinations. So thank you very much for a wonderful opportunity to be part of this beautiful conference under the dynamic leadership of, again, a dynamic Honorable Vice Chancellor.
Sensibly more smaller than you, so I hope you can see me there anyway. Dear Professor Vidya Shankar, dear Chief Guests, dear Guest of Honors, esteemed guests, first, thank you very much for the honor you give me to address such a bright audience on the occasion of the 11th International 3-Day Multidisciplinary Conference on the subject of sustainability. I'm particularly humbled to give my thoughts on this year's topic, issues and challenges on sustainable development. I will do it with 2 hats, or 3, let's say. First, a French hat, and the representative of a French business school, which is having very strong ties with India, but also as a trade advisor to the French government. Have been nominated in October 2021 by the Prime Minister of France for that, to provide some advisory to our diplomats here. So I hope this would give a bit of credibility to whatever I'm going to say today. And I will try to make it quick, because I think we are, I'm here in between you and the lunch table, so I will do it fast. So the topic of issues and challenges in sustainable development, I'm not going to go into what are all those issues. I think it has been beautifully presented by my friend here during the keynote address. I will try to give you a perspective of what's happening in Europe. And it's a topic that is aligning with the UNESCO agenda anyway, which itself is particularly focused on developing countries, but resonate as well in Europe and in France, which I'm from. The recent crisis only rendered the most fragile even more at risk, and we are more than even aware of the importance and necessity to mend our ways in order to keep our planet sound for all. There's no planet B indeed, as I should not, there are many people that I should quote for that. I mean, it's not mine, obviously. But the key element here is that inclusion is a condition for sustainability. The COVID crisis and many other crises, the Ukraine war, the climate issues we see in various places around the world, they clearly show our global interdependence. And it is true that anywhere in the world, from east to west, north to south. In Europe, particularly European Union, we have chosen inclusiveness during the COVID crisis, while a member country chose to separate the other states, despite their very differences, understood that there would be strengths in solidarity. And for instance, the debt of all those countries had been mutualized, allowing the most affected countries who were not able to acquire debts at an interesting rate to fund their crisis supporting activities, thanks to the share of those who were more lucky in that aspect, or have been more, I mean, you can mention that differently. The smaller countries were able to access the vaccines because there was a collective effort to purchase it, they were not left aside. They would not have been as efficient if they had been on their own. Speaking about, I don't know, Czech Republic or other countries like that. Everyone won in the process. They also together invested in a greener economy. I don't know if you're aware, but as early as July 2020, the European Union decided to double their budget and to invest in hydrogen, airplanes, for instance, energy-saving infrastructure, carbon taxation outside the borders should happen soon, the replacement of petrol vehicles to greener technologies. This may sound like, something of that has to be done for sure. It comes with its challenges in Europe, which we call the old Europe here, because there were technologies before there, and choosing to move from one to the other requires political decision, because it's going to affect a lot of people's jobs and a lot of people's ways. So it is supported, and it's there to support the most needy in a period of war in Ukraine and high inflation, which is the norm currently in European Union. So investing in protecting the chances of all in times of crisis has shown impressive results. If we're talking about France, in 2021 only, the GDP growth went up to 7.5%, doubling or tripling most of the European countries, and very close to what India is doing generally. So what I'm saying, that's the outcome of what has happened. What they have done was, what we have done was, the government preferred to open schools as early as June 2020, so all kids were going to school. Each and every young person who was in higher education was allowed to go to school, and on the other side, that meant that companies had to close their doors, send their people at home, but they were getting support from the French government. Every sector that were affected until early this year were getting support and were able to pay at least 84% of the salary of their people if they had no other choice because of the crisis to close their door. So that's one of the reason why we were able, the moment the economy was able to restart as normal, to start quickly. We didn't lose so many talents in the process, including in the tourism sector. It has been frowned upon, and there were a lot of, because that includes a lot of public spendings, but it showed in the long term very efficient. So we have, when you think of sustainable development, one has to think of long-term gain, not the short-term loss that you're going to have. Here's the solution that benefit a maximum of stakeholders. It is very much the way France and Europe conduct themselves with international partners. I'm generalizing here, of course, but for instance, if you're talking about the relationship between Europe and India, if you look at the 5 countries that are listed at the top contributor in Make in India, 2 of them are European. You will find France and Germany. Yes, when they do invest in another country, they also want everyone to win. Okay? So that's an example. That has happened in Australia. We had a deal happening over there with submarines. At that time, there were about 1,000 companies that were ready to start producing over there. The deal has been closed on the other side, and they lost this opportunity of having all these jobs created over there. And they lost a tremendous amount in the same place. So for France, the implication goes beyond just economical and manufacturing. In education, for instance, the Institut Français here in India announced recently that they would provide quality French language classes in Delhi government schools, and they are now spreading it out to other states. We are backing India on many UN initiatives, and so we are also considering, now that the NEP is in place, having a campus a French government-sponsored campus. There's currently some universities, both from France and from India, that are looking at building a campus on life sciences, and it would come very soon. So, and I will tell you, French schools are among the most non-paying semester exchange to offer the most non-paying semester exchange program in India. So really, we are about ensuring there is an exchange, a reciprocity happening, and I think that is key when we're thinking about sustainable development. So France has been very active in the COVAX. It's not just about protecting the benefits of the people from Europe, but also we understand that if the world is not recovering from COVID, then there is no solution that would work for even us. So it has been very active in this. So our motto is freedom, equality, fraternity. I personally believe that those concepts very challenging and hard to achieve. And we have failed along the way many times, of course, but they are first what sustainability is about, but also key to solve our challenges. And they are very close to the values and very complementary to the values that I see in India, and they're so vibrant in Indian culture: the frugal innovation, the care for all beings, the spirituality and rational thinking, which we have seen very clearly today already. So these are things that have a chance to help finding a solution to those issues and challenges in sustainability. Thank you very much for your attention.
Now I request Dr. Balakrishna Shetty, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Siddharth University, Bangalore, to speak a few words to the gathering.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಊಟಕ್ಕೆ ಬದಲು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಶಿವರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದರು 17 SDGs ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದರು, ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೋಲ್ಸ್. ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೋಟ್ ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೋಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 5 ರಿಂದ 6 ಫುಡ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. hunger, food security, and we know how many children are going to bed with malnutrition. ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಹೇಳಿದವರೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಬೇಕೀಗ. ನಾನು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ, ನಾನು ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು, ನಮ್ಮ 3 ವರ್ಷ 4 ವರ್ಷ, ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬೋನ್ಸ್, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾಲ್ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನ್, ನಾವು ಮರಾಸ್ಮಸ್ಸು ಹಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಆ ತಾಯಿ ಹತ್ರ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ, ಏನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ, ಆ್ಯಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಬಾರ್ನ್ವಿಟಾ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಹಾರ್ಲಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಮ್ಮ, ಮನೇಲಿ ಹಸು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಲು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾರಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಬಾರ್ನ್ವಿಟಾ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾರ್ಲಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಈ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುವಂಥ ಊಟ ತಿಂಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಹೊರಗಿನ ತಂದು ನಾವು ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಟೊ ಮಾರಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಚಿಪ್ಸ್ ತಿನ್ನಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದೆವು, ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಫುಡ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ, ಮಾಲ್ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನ್, ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಈ ಕೊಲೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಹೆದರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಆಯಿತಾ, ಏನು ತೆಂಗಿನೆಣ್ಣೆ ತಿನ್ನಬೇಡಿ, ತುಪ್ಪ ತಿನ್ನಬೇಡಿ, ಆಲಿವ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ತಿನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಇಡೀ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ತುಪ್ಪಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕೋಕೋನಟ್ ಆಯಿಲಿಗಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸು ಇಡೀ ಅಮೆರಿಕದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಈಗ ತುಪ್ಪ ಕೇಳಿ ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನನಗೆ ನೆನಪಿದೆ, ನಾನು ನಾರಾಯಣ ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಡಿಯಾಲಜಿಸ್ಟು ಕಾರ್ಡಿಯೋ ತೋರಿಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ತುಪ್ಪ ತಿನ್ನಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆದರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಸ್ಪೂನ್ ತುಪ್ಪ ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಡಿಯೋ ಸರ್ಜನ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಾನೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಂಗರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಫುಡ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಫುಡ್ಡೇ ಭಾರಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು. ಇದು ಭಾರಿ ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತಮವಾದ ವಿಚಾರ. ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇದನ್ನು ನಾನೇನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಏನು ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ಮೇಲೊಂದು ಮರವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಕಟ್ಟೆಯನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿ ನೀರೆರೆದವರು ಯಾರು, ಅಡವಿಗೊಳಗಾಡುವ ಮಗ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಡಿಗಡಿಗೆ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನು ಇತ್ತವರು ಯಾರು, ಕಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಪುಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಕ್ರಿಮಿಕೀಟಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನು ಇತ್ತವರು ಯಾರು, ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿತ ಹೊಣೆಗಾರನಾಗಿರಲು ಬಿಡದೆ ರಕ್ಷಿಪನಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂದೇಹ ಬೇಡ. ಇದ್ಯಾರು ಮಿಲ್ಟನ್, ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ವರ್ತ್, ಶೇಕ್ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮವರೇ ಕನಕದಾಸರು ಹೇಳಿದ ಮಾತು. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತೇಳಿ, ಫುಡ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಸಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದೇವೋ ಅದೇ ನಮಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು. ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಆ್ಯಪಲ್ಲು, ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಳೆಹಣ್ಣು ಮತ್ತು ಜಾಕ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ತಿಂದರೆ ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೆದರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಎಲ್ಲ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಿತಾಪತಿ, ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? ಜಾಕ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ತಿಂದರೆ ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾವಿನ ಹಣ್ಣು ತಿಂದರೆ ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ತಿನ್ನಿ ಪೀಚು, ಪಿಯರು, ಮತ್ತೇನು ಪ್ಲಮ್ಮು, ಅದನ್ನು ತಿನ್ನಿ. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದೆಲ್ಲೋ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಪೆಸ್ಟಿಸೈಡ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಮತ್ತೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸು ಪೆಸ್ಟಿಸೈಡ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನೂ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್, ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದವರೇ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು, ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಬಂತು ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಯಿಂದ, ಬೇಡ ಅದು ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಡಿ, ಫೈಸರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮಾಡರ್ನಾ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಫೋರ್ಸು. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಹೂ ಟೋಟಲಿ ರೆಫ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ಸ್. ನಮ್ಮದೇ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ 60ರಿಂದ 80 ದೇಶಗಳಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? ನನಗೆ ನೆನಪಿದೆ, ನಾನು MBBS ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಈ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್, ಆ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ಗಳು ಸಹ ನಾವು ಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆಪ್ಪ, ಬೇಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶಗಳಿಂದ, ನಮಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಕೊಡಿಯಪ್ಪ, ಮೀಸಲ್ಸ್, ಮಮ್ಸ್, ರುಬೆಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ನಾವೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಾವೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ಮೂರನೇದು ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೋಲ್ಸ್, ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್. ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮಾರಮ್ಮ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದರು, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದರೂ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿತ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಗಳಿಗೆ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿತ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸು. ನಾಸಾ ಆಗಲಿ, ನೀವು ಅಮೆರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸು, ಅವನು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆದರೆ ಅವನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು ದ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್. ಆದರೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನು, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ. ನಾವೀಗ ನೋಬೆಲ್ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಲಿ, ಏನೇ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದವರಿಗೆ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ವೆದರ್ ದ ಸೀಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್. ಇದನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ, ಅಥವಾ ಯಾಕೆ ಅವರು ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಎಂಬುದಕ್ಕೆ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿಗಳೇ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ನೋ ವೆದರ್ ದ ಸೀಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಮಗೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಗೌರವ ಕೊಡೋದನ್ನು ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ. ನಾನು ಅಮೇರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಹುಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಇದು ಏನಂತ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟು, ಸರ್ ಇದು ದನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಟೀಚರ್ ಯೂಸ್ಲೆಸ್ ಫೆಲೋ, ಸ್ಟುಪಿಡ್ ಫೆಲೋ, ಯೂಸ್ಲೆಸ್, ನೀನು ಯೂಸ್ಲೆಸ್, ನಿನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಪನೂ ಯೂಸ್ಲೆಸ್, ನಿನ್ನ ಖಾನ್ದಾನೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ಲೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಯಲಿಗೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಇದು ದನ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೀಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹುಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೀಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಲಿಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಬೈಯುವುದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಈ ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೋಲ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಓನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ಗಾಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ. ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ 1.5 ಗಂಟೆ ತನಕ, ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಂದರೆ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮೈ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್. ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್, ಮೈ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಸಿ ದ ಈಸ್ಟ್. The time has come not to see east, not to see west. See that our own students are the best. They can achieve anything. ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಒಲಿಂಪಿಯಾಡ್ ಮುಗೀತು. ಯಾವುದು ಒಲಿಂಪಿಯಾಡ್ ಹೇಳಿ? ಚೆಸ್ ಒಲಿಂಪಿಯಾಡು. 180 ದೇಶಗಳು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಟಾಪ್ 5 ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ A and B, ಟಾಪ್ 5. ಚೆಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟಲೆಕ್ಚುವಲ್ ಗೇಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಚೆಸ್ಸು. ಆ ಚೆಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟಾಪ್ 5 ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ A and B ಆರ್ 3 and 4 ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಮ್ಮದು ಸಾಧನೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ಆ ಸಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಅದರಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ನಾನು, ಕೋವಿಡಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಆಯ್ತು, ಕೋವಿಡಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಲಾಭನೂ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾವ ಲಾಭ ಹೇಳಿ? ನಮ್ಮದು ಒಂದನೇದಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, they are not inside the concrete halls, they are liberated out of the concrete halls. They can study at home and they can go through any lecture, anything they can go through. And as long as today students are not for knowledge, students for innovation. ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ 30 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಹೇಗೆ? ಗೂಗಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮೊದಲೇ ಥರ ಅವಘಡ್ರಸ್ ಹೈಪೋಥಿಸಿಸ್, ಅದು ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಾಯ್ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸು, ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವೆಷ್ಟು ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ಸ್ ಥಿಯರಿನ, ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ಸ್ ಲಾನ ಅದನ್ನು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನು ಬಾಯ್ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೇಳುವ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೀಗ. ನಮಗೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸಿಗೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ನಾಲೆಜನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ನಾನು ಕಲಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 5 ಇತ್ತು MDGs, Millennium Development Goals. Yes sir, we had 5 Millennium Development Goals in 1990. That has been changed into 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. ಇದು ವರ್ಷ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಯಿತಾ. ನಾವು ತಿಳಿಬೇಕಾದದ್ದು ಏನು, ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು, ಆತ್ಮನಿರ್ಭರತ. That's the only one point our Prime Minister said. Atmanirbharata. Have confidence in our own food. Have confidence in our own people. Have confidence with you. And what we need to do in education and teaching is see that your student is confident. He is self-sufficient. He can go and see and face the world anywhere he is there. The motivation and education and inclusiveness is the most important point than giving something, bombarding something into the student's head. So all should go through this Atmanirbharata. That is very important. Atmanirbharata in each and every field. That is very important. So with these few things, I thank the organizers for giving me a chance to speak to all of you. Thank you very much.
For you, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Siddharth University and Honorable Vice Chancellor of Vision Digital India, and all the delegates on the dais and off the dais, and all the people who are attending here, feel honored to have received the prestigious award, Leadership Award in Education. Very happy to have received it, feel privileged, but at the same time, after hearing to the addresses by the eminent speakers, feel like there's a lot of responsibility on the educationists, the teachers, to just bring in all these initiatives and see that we just educate the parents, all the stakeholders about the sustainable goals, and put our nation at a pedestal where the entire world looks up to us for all these best of the initiatives. I think thank you, and at the same time for the award, and at the same time for triggering some thoughts in us, and a thought process wherein we have to integrate all these into the education system. And I think the NAP 2020 will enable all the educationists to just take care of all these requirements at the present situation across the world, and then where we have an opportunity, a great opportunity to prove once again to the world that we are going to emerge as one of the best countries in the world, as it was proved, as Dr. Hari Krishnamarum said, that Takshashila and Nalanda and all those things again, we are going back to that system and then tell the whole world that here is the place where you have to come in to learn the best of the education, and the right and the relevant kind of an education. Thank you all the organizers for giving us an opportunity, and then proud of the university and all the joint organizers for coming up with a very excellent topic on which the conference is going to happen. And then whatever, today standing here as receiving an award for leadership in education is, again, I dedicate it to all my students, all the stakeholders, my family members who are always with me, and then Dr. Hari Krishnamarum, who keeps on encouraging me to do best of the things, and all my friends. Thanks a lot.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. At the outset, I congratulate all the organization which have taken part in organizing this International Multidisciplinary Conference 2022 on the theme called Issues and Challenges in Sustainable Development. The dignitaries on the dais, Professor Shuraj, the University Grants Commission member, Professor Shiv Chittappa, Dr. Sandhya Shastri, Hari Krishnamarum, Dr. Balakrishna Shetty, Kadar Pasha, and the event coordinator, Dr. Pavitra, and the other invitees, dignitaries, the awardees, teaching and non-teaching staff of KSOU, and the press and media persons. It is part of my work as a president of this function to summarize the notes or the points mentioned by the various different speakers on the different topics. The Professor Shuraj is inaugurated this event and made during his inaugural address mentioned the 17 themes of this sustainable development of the year that has been made in the year to September 2015. In that he has mentioned the 17 goals that end poverty, equal rights, zero hunger, ensure good life. There are many 17 themes which he has mentioned. What is the importance of it? What needs to be done? What is going on to achieve those goals? And then Dr. Sandhya Rani, who happens to be the alumni of this Mysuru University, Sandhya Shastri, mentioned on her keynote address that the international, what is happening at the international level pre-COVID and the post-COVID, what are the development, what are the challenges, how the business is improving, what is the area in which business has developed in the online marketing or other way, what is happening, why there is a still the tourism industry has not picked up, the reason being many restrictions across our different countries, different restrictions are still there. Many countries have not come out with a proper plan to enhance the tourism industry or to increase the business in tourism industry for various reasons. But one thing that is quite sure, that in India, the other countries have faced third wave and fourth wave, second wave, third wave and fourth wave. In India, the reasons are not known, but the Indian physical or body system, which itself sustained or thrown away the COVID, not in other countries, when we compare to other countries, the COVID did not affect much of the population in this country compared to the other countries, comparing the population of India and the population of other countries. The lot of deaths I've seen in other countries, but in India, compared to other countries, I am not saying the deaths are less or more here, we compare, because our inbuilt system, as mentioned by the doctor, that we are all eating our local foods. We are not aspiring for the food which is imported. So, for that reason, I think we have all undergone the what is known as initial injection system. Doctor, vaccination. ನಾವು ಕೋವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದು ಹುಟ್ಟದಾಗ ಹಾಕಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು BCG. ಬಹುಶಃ ನಾವು ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ಬಹುಶಃ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತೆಲ್ಲ ಕೋವಿಡ್ನ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರ್ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಂತ. ನಾವು ಬಹುಶಃ ಆ ಕೋವಿಡನ್ನು ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಶಕ್ತಿ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಜನ್ರೇಟ್. ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ when it comes to Hari Krishnamarum, he has explained, he has mentioned in his part how the India has grown to this level. We are celebrating the 75th Independence Day on this coming August 15th, how India has grown, why there are more Indians in other foreign countries or foreign companies, multinational, 100 Fortune companies, 70% of the Fortune companies in that 100 companies is headed by none other than the Indians. We all know that many Indians now are leading businessmen in the international level. This all due to the reason that a strong education foundation is there in India, and Dr. Balakrishna Shetty has mentioned how to treat the students, how to enhance the knowledge of the students, not just by scolding against the students. ನಾವು ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೇನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನ ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಬೈದು ಬಿಡೋದು. ನೀನೇನು ಓದಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀನೇ. ಎಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೂ. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ನಾವು ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಅದು. ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಎಂದಿಗೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ, ವೆನ್ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಟೀಚ್, you can ask any number of questions. If I know, I'll answer. If I don't know, I'll refer and come back to you. There is nothing wrong in saying in front of the student, accepting that. Teacher means, that doesn't mean that he or she should know everything. When a student who is intelligent, sometimes I'll tell, a student will be more intelligent than a teacher nowadays. He may raise questions, knowing well he knows the answer. He will try to test the teacher on the classroom. Even then, teacher should not get irritated by his question. He should boldly say that, my dear student, I have not gone through what are the questions that I have asked. Tomorrow I will clarify it. What is wrong in it, in admitting the fact? ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ನಾವು ಅವನನ್ನು then we'll start scolding him that you are asking unnecessary question, meaningless question. So that's why, as mentioned by Balakrishna Shetty, Dr. Balakrishna Shetty, it is rightly pointed out that as a teacher, we should not scold the student. We should encourage the students who is asking the questions in the classroom, or another student who may answer wrongly. Today, the students are with the entire world information, which may not be there in their brain, but it is there in the Google, which they can search it within a minute of time, within seconds. Today, every student wants to be an innovative and an inventor rather than a regular student. Because for them, information is available vastly in a Google, where when we go back to 50 years, the situation may not be so. We are all the teachers from those period, that time, or we were the students from that time. We may still feel that the student should know everything, our student should listen to us sitting in the classroom. Now that trend is changing. Now the softwares are being developed wherein students students will be alerted by, and it is necessary to know, that software will know when student will wants to read. It will alert him. A student will feed the information that normally I feel like reading only between 3 to 4 or 3 to 6 in the night, or 6 to 8 in the morning. Some students say I will read only between 12 and 2. There are different attitudes. Now the softwares have been developed wherein that software will alert, my dear students, please get up, time is 12 and you have to start reading, you have to read this much, and you type what you read, and you put what are the points that you have analyzed. Based on that, I will analyze what you have studied, what you have put as a point, whether it is correct to the content what you read, or some questions will be raised by the software, then the student has to answer, then the software will assess the student. Today, that is, so as every speaker on this dais have given their full information about their particular subject, what it is meant for, what is the things that is happening. Now, there are certain things which I need to say that the sustainable educational goals is inclusive education, effective management, community development, strengthen and enhance the means of implementation of technology development, provide equitable and inclusive quality education and lifelong learning opportunities for all, teacher education, both pre-service and in-service professional developments, training for different competency development, leadership training program, learners engagement, academic staff developments are the important thing. To offer one-of-a-kind learning opportunity to community-grounded professionals. Future generation promotes research, learning and action towards inclusive and sustainable community change worldwide. Future generations delivers and teaches local impact at global scale with its proven method for community development. This world-circling yet community-grounded universe of learning is uniquely positioned to advance just and lasting change for all. Technology access and use should enhance the quality and outreach of education across the country. And one thing I want to endorse the words of Sandhya Shastri is that today, if research, that's why in the new education policy that a researcher should not be distracted by asking he or she to take the classes or to engage other activities connected to academics. That's why today under the new education policy there is a university for research only, university for education only, teaching learning. Those have been included in the new education policy. In the years to come, as mentioned by Dr. Sandhya Shastri, that the teachers who are really interested in research, which is not forced research, will have an opportunity to work as a researcher in research alone, standalone university, which going to become a reality very soon, as the universities are now separated as affiliated universities, affiliating university and research university. I don't want to take much time because now the time is, we are reaching a lunch hour already, as most of them have sat here for at least 2.5 hours patiently hearing all the speakers. I think the deliberations of these 2 days International Conference on Sustainable Development will definitely bring some changes, and which will be recorded and be useful to the teachers who wants to enhance their knowledge as well as do some additional activities along with their regular teaching, otherwise even research also, so they can use it and they can transfer whatever they have learned here or listened here or gained here to their students. With these words, I'll conclude my words, and I wish all the best for the future session of this conference. Thank you and all once again.
Thank you, sir. I call upon Dr. Vasant, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, KSOU, to render the oath of thanks.
Very good afternoon to one and all. On behalf of all students and staff, I am glad to be standing here to express my vote of thanks. A special thanks to our Chief Guest, Dr. Hari Krishnamarum, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Global Digital University, USA. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Balakrishna Shetty, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Siddhartha University, for accepting our invitations and for being here with us today. Thank you, sir. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, Professor Sivaraj, member, University Grant Commissions, New Delhi, for accepting our invitations. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Sandhya Sastry, Research Advisor, University of West of England, Bristol, for giving wonderful keynote address. Thank you, madam. I would like to thank Ms. Maud de Bors, Runners Schools of Business, France. Thank you, madam. I also thank Professor K. Sivasittappa, Registrar, Tumkur University, for being with us today. Thank you, sir. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S. Vidyasankar, sir, for always supporting and guiding us throughout the academic. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Dr. A. Kadar Pasar, Registrar in Charge, Karnataka State Open University, on these occasions. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Dr. R.H. Pavitra, Organizing Secretary, 11th International Multidisciplinary Conference 2022. Thank you, madam. I thank all the faculty members and faculties, other sisters departments. Thank you. I would like also thank each and every one of you for being here, making this day wonderful and memorable one for our 11th International Multidisciplinary Conference 2022. And also thank you, Registrar for Evaluations and Dean for Academic and Regional Centers, all invitees and Professor, retired Vice Chancellors. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.